Alright, guess I'll give my take on the first two episodes of Skeleton Crew, the latest Star Wars TV show on DP. Gee, Doug, why are you watching that? You've given up on Star Wars. That is true for the most part. See no evidence of it improving or doing what it needs to do to restore itself or what have you and all that stuff. Now, doing it because I'm a panelist on Doomcock's Pop Culture Breakdown show. So that's pretty much the main reason. Otherwise, wouldn't have bothered. Certainly wouldn't have watched Acolyte, and that turned out pretty much as to be expected. So right off the bat, with only 2 episodes in, this is a better show than Acolyte. So just to get right to it, it's not a show that I'm blown away by. It's not a show that I would have been particularly interested in, even if the Star Wars brand was healthy, which it is not. It's just none of this would have bothered me at all. When I saw the trailer and I could see what they were doing with it, and I was like, I don't know, I mean, it's just what Star Wars needs. It's not gonna get, that sort of thing. But for little kids and stuff like that, which is obviously what they're shooting for here, yeah, it's fine. You got these kids living in the Star Wars galaxy's version of the suburbs, and they discover this ship, and oh boy, they accidentally end up into this big adventure, and for what it is, that's fine. So there's certain things that this is another thing about the brand. If it were healthy, probably wouldn't bother me as much, although it is quite lazy. They keep repeating classic scenes from the original trilogy and all of that. And, I can forgive. I've got a bad feeling about this and that sort of thing here and there, because you kind of expect. I don't think they did that. Yeah, but basically they recreate the opening sequence of New Hope, the original Star Wars. But it's space pirates and all that sort of thing. And again, it's obvious the space pirate captain is the Jude Law character. He's in a mask and everything, but he screws up and his pirate crew mutiny on him. Yeah, it's pretty obvious he's the guy in the mask. Yeah. So anyway, you cut to this planet where it's basically Star Wars suburbs, and you've got these kids, and they got to go to school and all that, and they get into shenanigans. You got 2 nerdy boys, well, a nerdy boy and an elephant boy type character. Which is actually an improvement. One of the things about Andor, which so far, other than the first season of 2 seasons of Mandalorian, was the only other good show they did, but it just wasn't Star Wars enough. It needed some more droids and some aliens in there, Well, here you go. You've got a full-on alien character palling around with this kid. The other 2 are girls, and they're smarter than the boys and better at them in every way and all that. Yeah, that's there, but, that kind of predates the current era as well, So anyway, they end up in this adventure to this kid who, of course, has got his head in the clouds like a familiar character of the series, and stumbles upon this ship, and off they go, and they go into their adventure, and it is a callback to Spielberg, how he handled movies with children, and Goonies, stuff like that the 80s did, and it's pretty much very much in line with that, and in a lot of ways I could see that working out. The next episode, they really jump into the adventure part of it, and and then there's this comical interaction with this droid and all that stuff, and of course there's some story behind this ship, and then it pulls a little surprise on it in that there's something about their home planet. And seems there's quite the mystery there, which leaves me wondering if this is a planet that's so far removed from everything that they're unaware of the Clone Wars and the Civil War and all that. This takes place after, Luke and friends have defeated the Empire. But the problem is there's a lot of crime running around. There's no big boss running with a heavy hand running everything. So it kind of... And that was always a possibility for explaining why there were troubles following the great victory of the original trilogy and stuff. Barely even acknowledged in the sequel trilogy where it was really needed, But since then, you've seen some of that. Well, they acknowledge it in this one, and it plays a role because they're dealing with these pirates and stuff. Except it's fine that they're pirates and they're criminals and all that stuff, and they're running around and they're raiding these ships and stealing and all that. But the pirate ship in the interior has a lot of pirate stuff, the hats and all that. And I'm like, come on, you don't have to be that ridiculous. Yeah, but whatever. It's not, nothing in the show pissed me off or made me mad at it, and that sort of thing. I'm just not that interested in it. Were I a little kid, maybe I would have really, enjoyed this. And so, that's good enough for that. It's not, again, what the brand needs in order to save it, so it's not going to do anything like that, but it might be just an okay little show and all that. So, of course, they get captured and all this, and there's something about the money they have that the pirates are fascinated with, because apparently it's probably more valuable than its actual intended value, and since they haven't seen these type of credits in a while, which is more akin to their planet. They keep calling out the name of their planet. They want to get back home, and the pirates just laugh it off. It's as if they said they're from Atlantis or something like that, or Magrathea, So there, you got that little narrative going along, and maybe there's some interesting backstory to all of that and to why the planet is this mystery. There's also, because there was this vast, rather thick cloud covering of the planet, and when the kids got into space, they were rather astounded. They obviously knew about stars, they just had never seen them before, and that sort of thing. So that was kind of interesting. So yeah, they're very isolated from the outside galaxy, which also lends to the look of the planet and stuff like that. However, they've got, Elephant Boy there, and yet when they encounter the pirates, they're like, wow, aliens. They look so weird. Would they? They had records and stuff. The kid knows all about the Jedi. He likes to fantasize about them and all this stuff. So there's stumbles here, just in that sort of thing. There's also a weird scene where the Elephant Boy's, one of his, father or whatever, was watching like this holographic gay Cirque du Soleil thing with a furry juggling. It was weird. And then the kid found the other kid in the bathtub, But anyway, off they go. They're now they're with the pirates. They almost make it out because their droid is, quite formidable, but they get the drop on it. And they throw him into the brig, a cell or whatever. And guess who's in the cell with him? Oh boy, it's Jude Law, who's quite obviously the former captain of this band of pirates, and appears to have use of the Force, which might explain how he survived the mutiny, But they got him locked in there, and he's able to use the Force to get the keys and unlock the door, and he says, I'm going to help you kids. So you got to ask, hey, why didn't he just get himself out before? Well, I'm assuming the next episode will explain that, and probably his reasons of now wanting to leave is because he overheard the kids talking and wants to, I don't know, find out about the lost planet or maybe the ship or something of that nature. And probably the ship was his, I don't know. But anyway, that's the deal. That's the setup. It's 2 episodes in. For the most part, it's fine. It's a cute little show and all that. I've haven't bothered to read the reviews or look at videos of, thumbnails saying that people saying they've seen the 3rd episode and it really goes off the rails and is bad. I don't know. I'll see it when I see it. But 2 episodes in, it's an okay show. I'm just not that hyped for it. So, there you go. Skeleton Crew. Now streaming on DP.